My wife is from abroad.
I want to thank everybody for coming. You all know why we're here to honor Ray LaBarge. It was funny, I got a call from a reporter a couple of days ago, and he asked me if I thought this was fitting. A plaque, you know, we've already got the bridge, you know, and here we are. And this park is means a lot to Ray too. Mark and Patty Bradford Stone over here, we all know their contributions to the community. And Ray liked Florence, but he loved Leeds. You know, he always said that too. And his family's here, you can tell. There was, after the reporter had asked me if he thought this was fitting, I just want to, here, these are all the same picture. But as I went through the center of Florence yesterday, and just pass it around, you can see it, there was, I thought about, when I saw the kid in the pond, I thought about Ray.
Oh,
so 50 years could go by and you might forget, you know, things. So this is just something to keep it rolling a little bit. This was a big part of Ray's life here, and his soul is still here. So all that being said, it's going to be hot. I'd like to introduce the mayor, Mayor Claire Higgins.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I remember standing here, I don't know how many, a couple of years ago. Wayne would remember, and we talked to Ray about how he used to bring kids up here to do cleanup, and how this meant so much to him, and how important it was that the rail trail continue, even in the face of some concern by the community. He felt that in the long term this was the best thing, and I have to say I agree. He went through a public process with the neighborhood to try to work through the concerns, and I think we've ended up with the right solution here. I just want to say that I have to say I'm very happy Maisie's here, because everywhere Ray was, Maisie was, so that makes sense that Maisie's here. And I'd also like to recognize some of the councilors that are here. Raymond LaBarge is here, the councilor from Ward 6, almost no relation. Wendy Mazza, who is our city clerk, and Wendy and Marianne were so good to Ray at the end there. It's so fitting that they're here as well. Former councilor Michael Bardsley is here. Former councilor Alex Giesland is here, the founder of our Transportation and Parking Commission, who's had so much to do with our bike paths. And I just saw Jesse Adams come in, our councilor at large. David Narkowitz, the city council president.
Excuse us, Mayor.
Sure. Sends his regrets. This is also fitting. It shows us that the bike path is doing exactly what it should be doing. So every once in a while I'm sitting at a city council meeting and I look over at that seat and I'm looking for the little devilish grin that signaled that something was going to be said that I was either going to find funny or I was going to have to rule him out of order. It depended. And I miss him, and I'm glad that this bike path is here to remember him.
Wayne?
Wayne Fiden, the planning director. Just a couple of dealings that I had with Ray over the years for this. One is Ray fought long and hard for this path. I remember we started talking about this about 12 years ago. And it was part of expanding in different directions. And Ray was a big supporter of all the bike path expansions. But I remember every time we go to council and say, we do this project towards East Hampton. Ray would say, well, okay, but you really got to promise that you can do the project in Leeds. And so each time we did a bike path anywhere else, it was like, he'd approve it, but only when he was absolutely sure that this one wasn't being forgotten behind the scenes. When we unveil the plaque in a second, it really gives him enormous credit for the point from this point north. And I just want to tell you that for a second. Ray was a great supporter of the bike path south. It's not to minimize his support there. It's that everybody supported from the bike path south. And frankly, probably whoever been a councilor in Leeds, it would have happened from this part south. Claire talked about Ray being willing to bring people together, which is true, but I'd say part of Ray's skill was being willing to give up on people when he couldn't bring them together. And from this point north, there was a lot of support in Leeds and a lot of opposition. And I'm not going to say that Ray said he built a consensus that we should have the path from this point north. What he said is, this path from here north is really important, and damn it, we're going to get it done, and eventually people are going to come see it. And that was really Ray's gift that helped us a lot. I want to turn over to the family and family friends. And
Can I just go?
absolutely.
I'm Wendy Mazzo, the city clerk, and I'd like to introduce Ray's family. His daughter, Lynn. Want to come forward, Lynn? His son-in-law, Leonard, with Maisie. His great-granddaughter, Ashley, and great-grandson, Justin. And his brother-in-law, Willie, right here. His sister, Anita, is right there. And his brother-in-law, John, is right there. And Ashley's boyfriend, Mike, right there. Ray was, and I'm Ray's adopted daughter. Even though my name is different, I'm Ray's adopted daughter. I'm very close to Ray. All Ray talked about was getting this bike path done, and he didn't care how it was going to happen, it was going to happen. And he was adamant with Mr. Fife, making sure that he stayed on top of this bike path. And so he's with us. Unfortunately, we don't have his bicycle here, because we probably would see his ghost riding down here. But he is with us, and he's always going to be a part of Leeds, always. So wherever you are in Leeds, you're going to remember Ray LaBarge. Thank you.
All right. Hi, I'm Ashley. Ish. A councilman, a plumber, a friend, a father, a neighbor. Raymond LaBarge was so many things to so many people. In my case, he was my great-grandfather and a role model. Ray has taught us that with enough hard work and determination, you can do anything. We all know he could be a little stubborn, but that's what it takes to get the job done. This bike path is just another example of that. He's been truly missed. On behalf of my family, I would like to thank you for honoring his hard work and support of the community with this bike.
Today is a very special day because Ish is looking down and thanking everybody that this work was done, because he'll always be in my heart and soul, and he's always done good for everybody. I remember when I was at my sister's, the phone would ring around the clock and he would answer it, and if he had to go to do it, he did it. And we ought to be grateful for not only Leeds, but Florence and Northampton. He's done more for this part of the town than I mentioned than anybody else. Thank you. Speak okay?
Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Ray was such a part of this community and the entire city of Northampton. This is very deserving. And thank you again very much, everybody. Family, friends, politicians.
I'd just like to say thank you to George Culhut for getting people organized to get the park into shape for this presentation. So thank you, George.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Well, remember too, Ray always had a whole bunch of kids up here doing work, and just absolutely dedicated to the town. Thank you.
Thank you all.